Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Christian Music Bro podcast. It's me, Brendan. Unfortunately, Braden's not here today, so I'll be taking over today. And today with me, I have a new guest, co-host. I don't know whatever you want to call it, guest, I guess, because there's only two of us, Justin Warren.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about your music background, like where you come from and like all about that?
Yeah, man. So I first felt the call to do music. I was in sixth grade at summer camp with my church, and I wanted to be a drummer in a praise band. It's kind of where I first felt God calling me. And my dad made a deal with me. He's like, if you do band in school, I'll buy you a drum set. So I played music all through middle school, high school. I was a percussionist. I marched. I did all this stuff. I played in orchestra. And then it was in between like my junior and senior year, my sister started taking guitar lessons, and she would come home. I'm like, hey, let me see that guitar. And then I started going to lessons, and then I started playing in the praise band at my church. And then out of that, I started leading worship at my church. And then I got asked to be a lead singer of a local Christian band. And from there, stepped out and did my own solo thing. And yeah, I've been doing this for a while now. God's been gracious and good. Like the last 6-7 years, I've been traveling full time as an artist. And yeah, so that's kind of my journey, like an abbreviated story. Yeah, but I'm very thankful.
What is your favorite memory, like when you were in that local band? Like, what was just your favorite memory?
I when I was in that local band, my favorite memory is that's where I met my wife. So that's probably we got brought in to do a concert at a camp, and my wife worked for a water sports ministry that taught kids how to water ski. They traveled around, and so they were at this camp. This camp had a lake there, and we met there that night. So that's probably my favorite memory of being in that local Christian band.
Camps are always a fun thing. I used to be a camp counselor back in the day, so like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Camps are always a fun place, and you make a lot of
Yeah.
memories at camp and everything. And you never know, like, what happened to you after you went to camp and everything. Like, other people might like. But when I was a counselor, I had a kid that wanted to be like a doctor, and I think now he's like in high school and trying to go into medical school.
Hey, that's incredible.
So it's
Yeah.
just cool how like camps inspire what you want to do later.
Yeah, I still lead worship at some summer camps, just a few of them over the summer. They always have a special place in my heart because that's where I kind of first felt this calling. So yeah, it's always cool to go back and be a part of camps and see how God's moving in people's lives.
That's great. So you said you're now doing your own thing, been on the road for the last 6 or so years. Can you tell us about some of your like what you do, like what you're doing now? Like who have you where have you traveled, who you toured with, or
Yeah,
anything
absolutely. Yeah, in the last few years, I've opened up for like Sanctus Real and Rhett Walker. Had a good time touring with those guys. I'm actually out on tour right now with JJ Weeks, and we're having a great time. It's called the My Porch Tour, and we're actually on the same label with Radiate Music. And so he's my label mate, and he's a great friend. He's like been a big brother. So we've been out on the road, and the tour is like it's been one of the best experiences I've had in a while on the road. Seeing God move in an awesome way, and just the response from people has been encouraging and incredible, and just really thankful. So yeah, we're having a great time.
um what has your favorite memory of this tour so far?
So we the first night of the tour, actually, we were in somewhere in Alabama. We were in South Alabama. I can't remember the name of the town. But we have this moment. So I open the night. Obviously I'm the opener, and then JJ comes out, and then midway through his set, he goes into a worship set, and I come out and join him. And so we were in that worship time, and this young guy comes down to the altar, and he's just like he's down at the altar weeping, and then like people are just surrounding him, praying over him. And then we ended up finding out, like the pastor comes up on stage that his dad, like a month before, had just committed suicide, which is like heartbreaking. This kid was going through so much hurt and pain. But it was just incredible how the church was able to come around him and embrace him and love on him. And we brought him up on stage and we prayed over him, and we just continued to worship the Lord. And it was powerful, man. You just could feel the presence of God in the place. So far, that's probably been like one of the most powerful moments on the tour. But every night has been unique in its own way, and I'm just incredibly thankful. Yeah, it's been really good.
That's really cool to hear. And JJ is a great guy. I don't know him personally, but he felt like we keep in touch via our podcast and everything actually. And then like I've seen him like speak at Winter Jam a few times because I think he's spoken at Winter Jam a few times.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
did. Yeah. Yeah.
um so you have a 5-song EP out right now called Moments. Can you
Yeah.
tell us your journey about creating that album?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I recorded that with a guy by the name of Scotty Wilbanks. He used to play for Third Date when they were a band. He now plays for a country artist named Luke Bryan. Um, with he's crushing it. He's super talented. He plays keys. So yeah, we I wrote a whole bunch of songs for that, and we picked like the top 5, and he produced it, and he did a great job. And a lot of those songs I still play on the road, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for them. It was a great time. So yeah, it's a little bit about the Moments EP.
That's pretty cool. And then personally, one of my favorites off that album was Gotta Believe. So
Yeah.
like I was just re-listening to the EP before we met just because it's like, okay, I'm gonna listen to his music again just to get things. So if you haven't listened to Justin Warren's EP Moments, it's streaming everywhere. So I recommend checking it out. He also has a single, All Things Well. Can you talk about that single a little bit?
Yeah, so that's it's I love it because it's kind of a new journey I'm on. I just signed with Radiate last year, and that's my first song I did with Radiate. And Ian Eskelin, me, him, and my buddy JJ. We wrote it together, but I started it by myself. And when I first started writing it, it was kind of out of a season of like just depression and darkness and not knowing what God was up to. And I was just kind of frustrated. I was out on tour with Sanctus when COVID hit, and then it shut tour down, and then all of my shows ended up getting canceled for the year. And then on top of that, I thought God was kind of opening up another door that just seemed to get shut in my face. And then my buddy, his dad passed away with cancer. There's just a lot going on. So I had a lot of questions for God of like, what's going on? I've been praying. Are you not hearing my prayers? And so honestly, the song started in a depressing place, but then my dad in the middle of that season sent me a sermon titled Jesus Does All Things Well that I listened to. And the pastor preached out of Mark 7, and Jesus, there's 2 accounts of him healing people, doing these miraculous healings. And then in Mark 7:37, it says they were astonished beyond measure, saying he does all things well. And then the pastor, he said, well, of course they would say that. They just saw Jesus do incredible things right in front of their own eyes. But what about for those of us who are walking through seasons we don't know what God is up to? For those of us who find ourselves in those places, we have to choose to believe and trust that he does do all things well. And one day our faith will be made sight, and we'll be able to look back and we'll be able to see in full that he does do all things well. So I knew then and there I had a positive way to spin this depressing song around that I was writing. And so I took it into the studio with Ian and JJ, and we took it and we totally flipped it from that depressing song into more of just a declaration of he does all things well. And I give it all to you. You've proven you do all things well. And my favorite part is probably the bridge where it talks about he's never wasted a moment. I'll praise you in the good times and bad. And so I'm just really thankful for how the song turned out. It's an honor getting to write it with them. And I love getting to play it live every night on tour. It's actually how I opened my setup on tour. Yeah, that's a little bit about the song.
Check him out and tour, guys. If you're anywhere that him and JJ are coming, I recommend going to the tour. I'm too far away, but I recommend you guys check it out.
Thanks.
You posted a few days or weeks ago, I don't remember, but you said you have new music coming soon. Can you tell us a little bit more, like what to expect and when?
Yeah. So April 21st, we got a brand new song coming out called My Heart Dances. We're in the project in the process of working on an EP, but it might become a full album as it's looking. But so this is our second song following up All Things Well. And it's the most energetic, upbeat, fun song I've ever released. And so I'm really excited about it. It's kind of like a big old dance bop, honestly. It's a song just celebrating God's grace in our life. The fact that he is patient and kind to us and is gracious and gives us multiple chances, and just celebrating the freedom that we have in Christ. And so I'm really excited. We filmed like a music video for it. It's going to be coming out that same day. We had a bunch of our friends in the video with us, and it's just a big anthem celebration. And I can't wait for people to hear it because I think it's probably one of the most unique things I've ever done. but also I'm just really excited about it. Yeah. April
I'm excited
21st, Heart Dances.
excited here. It's about actually a month from today. Today's March 21st.
That's
So
awesome.
month go. Get the countdown started.
That's all right.
So who are some of your biggest musical inspirations?
Oh goodness, this is a great question. When I was early on and first started in the music and I first started leading worship, Chris Tomlin had a massive impact on my life. And then like my favorite band of all time is Switchfoot. I love singer-songwriter Ben Rector. I'm a really big fan of his. I listen to a little bit of everything, to be honest. So I probably draw from a little bit of all of that.
Ben Rector is actually one of my favorite artists. He's one I hope to see live one day. I know
Oh,
he's on
man.
tour right now, and I think he just announced like a big tour with someone. I can't remember,
Yeah,
but he just announced a
at Top
tour.
20. Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw his live show a few years ago, his the Magic Tour. One of the best live shows I've ever seen. It sounded phenomenal, and him and his band just absolutely crushed it. It was really good. So I highly recommend going to see him if you get to.
if you could cover any song, what song would you choose?
Let's go Dare You to Move by Switchfoot.
That's all. I think you're the second artist we have say that. I'm trying to remember who the other one. Don't hold me on it, but I think it was not. Maybe it was Sean B. Maybe not. I don't remember. But like we asked someone like, what was one song we could cover? Maybe it was Kingdom Vessels. So it was one of the artists we met, but they're like Dare You to Move because like they have like we can have a killer instrumental section and we can have a huge vocal section.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
It's a great song. It's a phenomenal song.
do you have any questions you want to ask or anything you want to talk about? Or we like to give our guest stars a place to talk about or ask us anything they want as well.
Oh, dude, no, that's awesome. I'm just honored to be here. How long have you guys been doing this podcast?
So last week I said it was our 16th episode, but this is actually going to be 16th episode. Last week's episode will be now our 17th episode because we have surprise. We met with Jason Dunn. I know I'm
Nice.
recording. I'm just probably going to just have you'll see everyone that's watching. You'll see the Jason Dunn interview soon. I promise. So
Dude,
like
that's
this is probably
awesome.
now like our 16th or 17th episode. So
Dude, that's cool. It's been a long time since I've seen Jason. He one of my fondest memories of on the road when I was first getting started and I was young and didn't know what I was doing. I played a festival with Hawk Nelson and he met me backstage. We didn't know each other. He came and introduced himself to me and he's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna go watch your set and check you out." And he went at the festivals they have at the stage, a fence, and then the people. And he stood in between the stage and the fence and he watched my whole set and then came back afterwards to just say some encouraging words. And I'll never forget that. Like, you don't always run into really kind people on the road. And he was really kind and really cool. So I'm very thankful for that.
he was one of so we met with him a couple other episodes. We had Sean B, who's been on the road with Winter Jam like this past year. We met with Grace Graber. She's releasing her first EP in a few weeks here. Probably
Nice.
I think it's next week actually. Trevor Tyson from Trevor Talks to Someone. So we were just meeting with like whatever, just trying to get people involved, and we just wanted to be involved in the Christian music industry. Braden and I met through New Release Today. Like we tell everyone, we met through New Release Today, but we wanted to do our own thing. So this is one way we can do our own thing.
Dude, that's really cool, man. That's really
So
cool. New Release Today was very kind. They did a premiere on my All Things Well music video, which was really kind of them. Yeah.
yes,
Super cool.
we're both part of the staff team there, but
Oh, that's awesome.
this podcast is something that's not affiliated with New Release Today.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Very cool.
So we're just growing it out, letting it be. We have a couple more guest stars lined up. So we're going to meet with Amanda Jansen for people that are meeting.
Cool.
Amanda Jansen. We're going to meet with Brooke Robertson, Katie Reynolds, and we still have a few artists we're going to schedule too here and there too.
Dude, that's so awesome, man. Well, I think it's great that you guys are doing this, and I'm like incredibly thankful you've had me on today. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what else you guys do in the future. It's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, thanks for taking your time to meeting with us, and thanks to everyone that watch. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to stay up to date with our podcast, and also give Justin's music a check out. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify. You can check it on Facebook and Instagram. So I just recommend checking that out. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you have a great week.